All right, what's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be painting some 10 mil Germans for my Crete project, the invasion of Crete. Yeah, I'm going to show how I paint 10 mil Germans. Nothing crazy here. I am going to show how I get variants in the color of uniforms. I'm sure most people have seen the picture of the German field jackets, and there's a whole bunch of different shades. So, if anything, that's an excuse to not get it perfect. You don't need to go out and buy a new paint just because you don't have the exact right shade. Make it work for you. Yeah, if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. All right, now I'm going to be starting with the jackets, just using a green here. Closest green I have to what I would consider a German green. And I'm just going to go over the jackets, or their jump smocks, I guess I should say. Somebody will probably freak out in the comments about that. But going over their jump smocks or their helmets, not all the helmets. Some of them I'm going to take and paint like a gray, blue color, kind of like the Luftwaffe war. But I will be doing 2 coats of this this green. All right, and after that I will be using some dark gray blue from Pro Aquil, and this will be my first, basically kind of like my shadow color for all the gray bits. So this is going to be the pants on every model. Some of them in the future I'm going to paint with tan pants just to show the Africa Corps. Not that there were any of them at Crete, but nonetheless I'm going to do it just to give a little bit of variance. I'm also going to be painting some of the helmets with this color too. Sorry about this being so out of focus. Oh, there we go. I figured it out. And it's gone again. My apologies. Doing the best I can here. All right, then we're going to move into the brown bits. This is going to be the rifle, canteen pouch, sling, also anything that I'm going to paint tan coming up. I'm going to put a brown undercoat just so I don't have to go over with a tan yellowish color right over black, because that's a pain in the butt. So I'm going to hit the rifle. I'm going to hit the canteen pouches. Any of the other pouches that aren't black, I'm going to hit them. Trying to not hit all the straps and everything with this color. Anything that I want to leave black, I'm taking a little bit of caution to make sure I avoid it. That way I don't have to go back over. I will hit the black again at the end just to really bring it back. Then I'm going to hit the flesh. I'm using beige red from Pro Aquil. Going to get all the fleshy bits, which for this models is just the hands and face. Super simple, super small. They do have some finger details. I'll go over a wash later and then come back in and pick the fingers up. But yeah, just going to go over with that beige red. Try to get a dark base coat. So some of these I went over twice, but this guy, I got a pretty good base coat first time around. And then I'm going to use what is quickly becoming some of my favorite metal paints. It's actually these speed paints from Army Painter. These speed paint metallics. I'm just going to hit all the metal bits. On this model, he's got his MP40 on the back, all folded up. Just going to hit that. And then I'll get all the rifles and everything too. So there's that. And I just love this model. He's got the uh, Panzerfaust and then the MP40 on the back. Great model. All right, then here I am going to be using some tan to get all the tan bits. Nothing crazy. I'm just trying to get all the tan bits, leave that brown in the shadow. Like this is the guy with the Panzerfaust. I'm going to hit the Panzerfaust. Going to hit his magazine pouches for the MP40. Trying to leave that tan in the shadow. All right, now I'm going to take this Stonewall Gray. I'm going to mix it in a little bit with that first blue color. And I'm going to do a highlight before I do a wash on the pants. And the wash will really bring it together. I really just want to get some definition into these pants. So that's what I'm doing here. Just trying to pick out the folds, creases in the pants. And I'm also going to get the helmet too. And then here I'm just showing I'm also going to get the highlight the bandoliers with that gray color. Just to add a little bit of definition to them. So. All right, with all the base colors done, I'm just going to put some military shade over pretty much the whole model except the flesh. I'm going to try not to hit the flesh. If I hit it, not a big deal. Not too worried about it, but I'm trying to not get it. I'm going to go over the flesh with a different wash. All right, and with that done and the wash dried, 30 minutes later, I'm going to go back in with that green and reapply it just to brighten it up a little bit. My painting process, I wouldn't say is the most speedy, but I think I get good results. Works for me, and that's all that matters. Then I'm going to go back in, reapply it, try to get some of the sharper details, the pockets on the thighs of the smocks, the folds on the arm, a little bit on the helmet. Just trying to pop out the highlights, give a little bit of contrast to these tiny models. This particular model is from Victrix, by the way. Some of these are Victrix, some of them are Pendragon. Then here I'm just darkening down that brown, or lightening the brown a little bit with that tan. and I'm just going to highlight the rifles and highlight some of the brown bits. Give them a little bit of contrast. It's the name of the game. It's how you get stuff to pop, at least in my experience. But I'm going to hit all those bits with this color. Do some edge highlighting on the pouches and stuff. And that will be pretty much it for the brown bits. I won't do anything else with them. The canteen pouches, I will try to give a very small dot of tan just to make them stick out a little bit more against the black strap. But that'll be it for the brown bits. All right, then I'm going to take an even more tan color, Darren Dust or something from Army Painter, which Army Painter is just becoming my favorite paint range by far. I know Pro Acryl was the talk of the town for a couple years, but this Army Painter new range, Fanatics, is great. But I'm just going to go in here, not going to completely cover up the tan I put on, but try to lighten stuff up a little bit more. You'll be able to really see what it does here on the Panzerfaust. All right, and I'm going to go back in with that gray mixture, and I'm going to highlight all the gray bits. So again, it's just going to be the pants and any model that has the bandolier around the neck, those cloth bandoliers that they wore. I'll highlight all those bits with this just to make them stand out. You can see there how much depth it's given to that model. Then I'm just going to go in and re-pick out the fleshy bits. So trying not to just do smudges, trying to pick out the fingers, which I don't get all of them. Some of them are just smudged, but trying to pick out the fingers, trying to pick out the nose and the cheekbones. If I can get those things, it'll look like a face. So that's good enough for me for 10mm models. I'm happy with those results. If I can get fingers, cheekbones, and noses, that's a win. That's an A+ for me. Then I'm just going to highlight all the metal bits with a little bit of this polished silver. A little bit too bright for World War II firearms, but it's going to help it stand out. So for me, I'm going to use it. Here's the guy with the MP40. Probably should have painted the gun handle brown, but I'm going to leave it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Then I'm going to do the same for all the riflemen. They're real easy. I'm basically just going to hit the, I don't even know what you would call it, the pieces that go all around the barrel and the wood. But I'm going to highlight those, put a little bit on the barrel, just a little bit to give it some contrast. I wonder how many times I've said contrast in this video. Then I'm going to go over the black bits with this dowel rounding ink. I'm using it because it's a really dark black and it's kind of got a glossy finish, so it'll help them stick out. But I'm just going to go over all the black bits. Their straps, the canteen pouches, belts, all that stuff. Also do a little bit of pin lining with it too, just to give a little bit more definition to, the pockets and some stuff like that. Getting the E-tool there, so. I'll also use it in between the individual pockets on their cloth bandoliers, just to darken those down a little bit. And then I'll go in with some green. I don't remember what green I used. I think I used like a goblin green from Vallejo, which is essentially a dark field gray or green. But I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to use that to hit their ponchos, which I was also putting brown on. I know they're not called ponchos. Again, forgive me. My German military uniform knowledge is probably lacking a little bit. And these are the finished models for the most part. For the most part, they're finished. I will do one other thing for some of these, and I'll talk about that when I get to it. But these are finished models. I'll do one other thing to a couple of them just to show variance in the different colors of the uniforms. You know, newer soldiers would have better looking uniforms. Somebody who's been in campaign for a while is probably going to have a faded uniform. It's just kind of the way it was. All these ones you've seen so far are Victrix. Great models. I don't know why they're 12 millimeter. They're actually smaller than the Pendraken 10 millimeter. So that kind of bugs me. Probably shouldn't, but it just irritates me a little bit. Here's the Pendraken. Now, the gear on the Victrix have better sculpts. The faces are better on the Pendrakens. But yeah, so I'm going to use that blue that I use, and I'm just going to water it down a lot. So like 1 drop of paint to like 4 drops of water. I'm going to water it down a lot, get most of it off my brush, and I'm going to go over a couple of these guys with that just to give it kind of a blue tint to it. It's not going to kill the green underneath, but it's just going to give a little bit of a blue tint, just to show a little bit of variance in color across the range. That's what I'm doing here. Of course, I'm doing it out of focus. Oh, there we go. I got it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share it if you find it interesting. You can help me out in this video, and I'll appreciate it if you do. I don't know how to base these guys. I don't know how to base them. All right, I'm not too sure how I want to do this. I don't really like the square bases. Maybe it's just a pet peeve, but I'm not digging basing them on, like, you know, your typical 40 by 20 mil bases. I don't know. It's going to be a pretty large scale game. I mean, I want to have a platoon as, like, ideally, you know, your command section, and then at least 3 6 to 8 model sections. So if you guys can give me any ideas for basing on these, it would be very helpful. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. Till next time, bye.